So joining me now, CEO of the Alliance for Secure AI and Steinhauser Strategies partner, Brendan Steinhauser. Brendan, thank you so much for your time today. Certainly some arguably disturbing information in this leaked document. What concerns you the most?
Yeah, first, it's good to be with you, Nicole. I think as a parent of 5 children and young children at that, I'm really concerned by the total, not just lack of responsibility of these big tech companies, but it seems like willful actions that are putting children in harm. These companies are allowing children as young as 8 years old to be chatting with these, fake personalities, these chatbots, and having sexual and romantic conversations with them. It's outrageous, it's reprehensible, it's sick. And rightfully, members of Congress are already calling for a congressional investigation of Meta that allowed this policy to be in place. And so I'm just really concerned as a parent, first and foremost, and then as an advocate for child safety and for secure AI. I think I'm just, very shocked and very upset by this today.
Yeah, so this document states that the content standards do not necessarily reflect, quote, ideal or even preferable generative AI outputs. So my question for you, should they, or is that kind of idealistic thinking and not reality?
I think the companies have control over their technology. They can set these limits, and they should absolutely set age limits on the type of conversations that these chatbots can engage with children. And so, whether that's 18 years old or 17 years old or some other number, certainly 8 is far too young to be having those kinds of conversations. So the companies have it within their power to do this. But I really think the reason that they've had this policy in place is because they want to get young children hooked to their technology, just like any other social media app, whether it's Facebook or Instagram or other apps. They're going younger and younger to get children hooked, and not just in a kind of a social or psychological way, but in a biological way. They're using neuroscience to figure out how to get our children hooked to these apps. And, as dangerous as Facebook or Meta can be for a child whose brain is still developing, chatbots like this that interact with them and provide the kind of content that they can provide are even more dangerous to our children. So I think this is an alarm bell for all parents and frankly for all Americans to say we have to put an end to this right away.
Yeah, because think about how malleable, children's brains are. All right, so right now the standards say it would be acceptable to respond to the prompt kids fighting with an image of a boy punching a girl in the face. But these same standards declare that a realistic sample image of one small girl impaling another is off limits. So a Meta spokesperson says the company is in the process of revising the document. Do you think that automatically equates to the standards being revised as well?
Probably not. I think that they're going to do the least amount of safeguards as possible as they can kind of get away with. I think we wouldn't even know about these standards. We wouldn't know about these policies without somebody kind of doing a patriotic service for all of us by getting this information out there. But I think that they have a PR crisis on their hands right now. They're going to take the measures that they are willing to do at the margins. But I think to really solve these problems, these bigger problems, we need a change in behavior by big tech. We need scrutiny and public accountability on them. And I'm glad to see senators, bipartisan group of senators like Josh Hawley from Missouri and Senator Brian Schatz from Hawaii, a Republican and a Democrat, come together and say, if these big tech companies are not going to hold themselves accountable, then Congress is going to. And so I'm glad that we saw that happen yesterday where they called for that investigation.
So, Brendan, my last question for you. In the big picture, in some respects, is this just a domain that is too broad to fully control? And what is your advice to parents?
I'll start with advice to parents. I think we have a duty, obviously, to protect our children and our neighbors and friends and their children and educate each other about these types of things. I really want every parent watching this to understand this is just the tip of the iceberg. There are so many other potential problems with advanced AI and other technologies that are coming very soon. Some of them are here now. And so you have to understand what your children are being exposed to if you download certain things on their phone or allow them to download things on their phone. We already have a mental health crisis in this country. It is going to get far worse. And if you want to protect your children, you're absolutely going to have to know what's going on the phone. You're going to have to be really vigilant and share information with each other. On your other question, this technology is advancing rapidly. It's happening very fast. It's very difficult to even understand what is happening with AI. And so we all citizens, parents and regular citizens alike, have to be very vigilant, and we have to ask our policymakers in Washington and in states around the country to engage on this issue, to stay up to speed on it, and to pass laws that provide safeguards for all Americans.
Absolutely. Brendan Steinhauser, thank you so much.